So we have figured out that life doesn't stop because we get injured. We still have to go through the day and take care of ourselves, take care of the house, take care of our family, and there's a way to do it better despite having back pain so that we don't pick the scab and irritate that injury as we go through our activities of daily living. This video is all about that, so I want to show you the most common changes of position, which is one of those areas that we get irritated, as well as just how to live life a little bit better. Self-hygiene and workplace ergonomics. I'm going to try to cram this all in one video. We'll see how lengthy it gets. It might be splitting it up, and then I will cut up and go through a little bit more challenging stuff like sweeping, mopping, taking out the trash, you know, that kind of bigger stuff, and what are some of the nuances of how we move there. Kind of a little bit later in the program, it's going to go through our functional movement training. Okay, but changing positions tends to be one of those places where we get irritated. And spinal hygiene is all about keeping our spine in line so we're not putting torsion on that spine and irritating it throughout the day. Every single irritant that you drop down is going to help you sleep better at night. You know, instead of your pain levels going up throughout the day, we can keep them at a low level. Then your mobility drops them down even more. Your positive sleep drops that down even more. It helps your healing. And you can see how we're moving forward in this journey together. So super excited for you guys there. Let's jump in. First thing we got to do is sit to stand. So here we go. Chairs and couches, right? The two places that we sit most often. In an ideal world, we want to make sure that our feet are on the ground and it can be equal with our hips and our shoulders. Most people that I see will tend to get comfy, but comfy doesn't mean pain-free. It just means what we've always done to get comfortable. We'll lean to one side. Just assess that my feet are shoulder width apart. They're flat on the floor. For those of us who are a little vertically challenged, we may end up here, and so we end up slumping to find some kind of support. You can do a couple things here if that is the case with you, or say you have a really deep couch, right? Which most couches are super poor ergonomics. They're meant for naps, not sitting most of the time. But you can do two things. We can build up the floor, so i.e. putting a stool, putting pillows, putting something so that your feet can touch the floor in a flat fashion. There it is. Make sure that your feet are flat on the ground or on the surface, on the stool, whatever it may be, and or building up the backrest. So whether that's a McKinsey lumbar roll, whether that's a rolled up sweater or pillow, give yourself a little bit of lumbar support back here. You'll notice the difference immediately. So we want to make sure that we're square, our shoulders are square, we're level. It's not wrong to cross a leg here. It's not wrong at all to sit like this or go to the other side. If you only cross one leg though, or you're always sitting with like your wallet under your hip or something like that, that's going to throw you off, right? Because we're looking for stability here. Right, and I just made myself, by going to one leg, a little bit less stable. So my body knows how to compensate by, immediately what I went to is putting my hand on my leg, right? I'm looking for that stability. Not necessarily grabbing on, but still, I'm looking for something. So give your body what it's asking for. It may not feel normal, but none of this stuff does, right? We're just getting over the hump here so that we can get back to real life. When we perform our sit to stand transfer, we want to scooch forward here, widen our stance just a little bit, engage our core, and then you can help yourself up if you need to, one side or both sides, but we want to drive the nose up forward and push from our glutes and our thighs as we drive upwards. Make sure that we do the same thing when we come down, is we are bracing, sitting back, landing softly to come back down, nice and easy coming back, okay? And so try to avoid kind of rotating to bring in your hand across midline. If you do need upper extremity support, hand support here, try to use something that's on the side to drive up, and really that widened stance helps tremendously. When we are getting into bed, we want to make sure that we're nice and square on the bed here. Again, you can hug a pillow if needed. We can always activate our core for a little bit more support, but we're going to get into bed in two parts. Number one, we're going to roll to our side and bring our legs up at the same time. Then we'll roll to our back. Now we can get comfy if we're going to sleep on our back, stomach, on our side. We can go ahead and make sure to then align those pillows as needed. But that'll help us to stay level and avoid any irritants. So kind of is a bit of a 180 here if I need to go all the way, or 270 rather, if I need to go all the way to my stomach, one side or the other, then I'm just going to continue that motion and then roll together, trying to keep shoulders, hips, and pelvis aligned. And when we need to get to the floor, we're going to use this sequence. a stand to floor transfer. If you need handheld support for a little bit of balance or strength, feel free on either side. We're gonna take a much wider stance than you think with your heel off and of your back foot here. We're gonna come down. I like to use my back thigh rather than my front knee to come down. I'm gonna land softly, come down to tall kneeling. I'm gonna brace and then hinge my hips back as I come down to a quadruped position. So all fours here. And then this will allow me to lower myself down. And again, once I need to roll left or right or onto my tummy, I can do that as well. To get back up, the reverse holds true. I'm gonna walk myself up. You notice how I come to my fingertips just to buy myself a little bit of length. Keep myself braced, pushing up both legs. Boom. And this is why we need to be nice and strong and balanced, because this is a very unsteady position for a lot of people. We don't like to get with our feet this wide. So you'll notice in some of the future videos how we practice a lot of these, not only the strength, but the balance and the mobility to get into these postures. So even things like getting dressed and personal hygiene can be real irritants if we're going through an acute flare-up and if we just have some really bad back pain. We want to make sure that, again, we're watching our spinal hygiene and we're not bending and twisting, or we're minimizing bending and twisting when we have to do that, but if that's irritating every single time. Things that we can do to help with that are to buy what's called an ADL kit, or Activities of Daily Living. It's some tools that help you to live life a little bit better. Usually comes with a pants hook, a reacher, a long-handled shoehorn, a long-handled loofah, so we can get down to our feet. Oh, and a sock aid, because socks, right, getting to our feet, getting down to pull the pant leg up, that type of thing, those are the big irritants right there. So if we could use a tool to get down and do that a little bit easier, well, all the better, right? One of these typically these days runs about $40 or so, and for the price per use and the pain relief there, I think it's a good buy if you're at that point and if you need that right now. So a sock aid, what you'll do, it's a little piece of plastic with a couple strings. You'll put the sock on the end, kind of close it up, put the sock on the end, and then you can hook it around your foot and pull that sock up. The goal being trying to get around the heel. Then you can use your reacher to grab the sock and pull it up a little further so that you don't have to reach down and twist. You can also use the long-handled loofah for the shower, not only to get your back, but again, to get your feet and scrub there, scrub the ankles, all that stuff. You know, the upper body doesn't tend to be nearly as big of a problem. And similarly with the grabber or the pants hook, to get the leg into the pants, so sitting, using the pants hook to grab the leg and put your leg through there, leg through the other, and you can use the pants hook and or the grabber to pull up as you stand to get your pants up and on. And for things like brushing your teeth, I suggest to use a bowl. Bring the sink to you rather than you going to the sink. It's so easy to just scoop a little bit of water, have a water bottle right there, bring the water bottle to you, bring the bowl here, you can use this to spit, and that just avoids, again, getting all the way down to the sink, which I know for my last few flare-ups was really challenging, right? You're looking at that, you're looking at your socks, and that looks like forever away from me. I wish that it was closer, and that's what we do. So make it simple, and don't worry about any of the aesthetics, any of the way it's supposed to look. Make it easy right now. It's okay. And finally, work. Especially if you're working at a computer, which I think a lot of us are these days, can be really challenging, especially because sitting tends to be a trigger for lots of us. So we want to use a sit to stand desk to offset some of those pressures. When you're using your sit to stand desk, when you are using your sit to stand desk, we're not just going to use it normally. We're going to make sure that our ergonomics and our posture are both really, really good. For that sit to stand desk, you want your monitor and your keyboard to be at different positions. So this changes whether you have a desktop, whether you have a laptop, kind of what you're doing, but this is what you're looking for. You want the screen to be about eye level, somewhere between 18 and 24 inches away. So that tends to be about an arm length away, just kind of making sure that it's not more than that. Number two, you want your hands at 90 degrees. So you can see how this immediately would be challenging if you have a laptop, right? You don't want your screen to be up here and then your hands to be up here, and then we have to T-Rex it all day. Not fun. So getting an external keyboard and external mouse will be really, really helpful there so that we can set ourselves up almost on two levels as we stand. It doesn't have to be fancy. It could be something as ugly as a box, just, something that's going to support that monitor so that you can see it eye level away. Sometimes it takes a little bit of setup. Sometimes you can find some cheap little add-ons to a desk to build it up, right? And so whatever works for you today, knowing that this is going to be something that you use long-term because it increases productivity, improves calories burned, improves comfort and mental focus and clarity. There's all kinds of research there. So external keyboard, monitor, there we go. Now we're standing. Now we're going to use our 6 different standing postures. So yes, I can stand forward and level, right? Feet straight ahead, knees unlocked, weight through my hips into my heels, finding my posture for my wall plank. That's great. But sometimes I'll get offset and want to shift to the right, shift to the left. I can stagger my stance. This is a little bit more of my go mode. Dun, 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 dun. I'm getting ready to really get into production mode here. Or if I need to think a little bit, I can always do the Captain Morgan. So I can find a box or a stool to put my foot up on. Again, making sure that my pelvis and my shoulders are level. Stance leg is unlocked. So putting my foot up on a box, and there you have so many options so that you can stay comfortable. And as you're going through the day, don't forget to do some of your standing mobility. Again, take your essential program, take some of the mobility exercises that I've given you, and you can do that in standing. You can do that in sitting at the desk as well. Always good. And also don't forget to take a little bit of time during your lunch break or in between, different projects to go for small walks and to use some of the tasks, maybe you're going down the hall to get some water or go to the bathroom. Take the long way, get a few extra steps in, stay off the chair for a little bit longer if you can. That'll just re-energize you and again, make it through the end of the workday with as little pain as possible. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. And if there's been a single tip that really stood out to you, like, man, I didn't think about that, go ahead and drop that in the back pain and sciatica support group. Let's go ahead and help our fellow back pain sufferers, and we'll keep you moving forward. On to the next one.